Hello, and welcome to another episode of Tea Time with Eddie, special Badlands edition. So I wish you all good morning, the day after the summer solstice, but today is like the summer solstice as well, in that the inner light should be inspired to shine longer. During special occasions when you feel that its luminescence is able to kind of, cover the planet of your good intentions. Yeah, so basically what I like to do with my life is to wander around without any particular goal in mind. And I feel this is a really important thing to do because of a few reasons. The first reason is that through reasoned analysis, combined with a slight amount of faith, based off of examples set by accomplished beings, which you maybe have directly experienced in one particular form, if you wander about without a particular goal or destination in mind, what happens is that an openness occurs. And this openness is basically, it's like looking at your true nature with a telescope. And you are figuring, and you through that gazing upon your true nature with this telescope of goallessness, you are able to plan out a course of action to essentially build yourself a craft that can travel to your true nature within. And having this kind of openness, what it does is it opens up opportunities. Having no goal allows an openness to open up opportunities. And what happens is actually the ability to become what is necessary happens more frequently. And when this happens, all of a sudden, the right course of action becomes apparent, because you're not having to sort of like contend with a preconceived notion. And I think it's important also to understand that when you are engaging in this practice, it's important to understand that it may feel like maybe nothing happens while you wander about without any particular goal in mind. Maybe nothing really obvious happens, like there's no baby in a burning building that you must save. There is no person with this key piece of advice that you can readily give that all of a sudden illuminates them. It maybe doesn't happen quite as obviously. And when this occurs, when you are wandering about with no particular goal in mind, and you feel like nothing is happening, that's something you should actually be very happy about. Because it's important to understand that there are many, many things happening just beyond the surface of appearance, just beyond how things immediately appear. And you can understand that these many, many things are happening just by the fact that you can perceive appearance. And when you perceive appearance, you can realize that every single aspect of appearance comes about from many things coming together. And each one of these individual things, they don't have any particular form that you perceive until they actually come together and form that appearance. And so you can based off of this, you can understand that there are many, many things within appearance. Appearance implies that there are many, many factors that you are not necessarily seeing within the moment that are happening. And if you have no particular goal in mind, and you have this reasoned faith that this produces an openness to gain a glimpse of your true nature, then by having the feeling that nothing is happening while you are wandering around with no goal in mind, implies that you are forming incredible stores of causes and conditions which will lead to a coming together point of gaining a true glimpse of your base nature, a true glimpse of your enlightened seed, or a true fertilization of your enlightened seed. If you're able to generate joy when things perhaps appear like things perhaps appear while you are engaging in the wandering of aimlessness, then you are essentially, that is a sign that you are successfully engaging in this practice. And so, with that being said, you should also feel, while you are wandering about with no particular goal in mind, that you have the ability to suddenly engage in an activity of concentration. You should feel that you have the ability to concentrate when you want to. Now, in regards to the practice of concentration, which is very important, it's important to understand that the particular circumstances in which you are engaging in the concentration, the inner and outward circumstances. And, there are certain times when certain forms of concentration outwardly perhaps they feel like you have to really sort of force them to happen. And if there's a real sort of sense of forcing, sometimes you need to sort of relax that forcing. It depends, though. It depends. Sometimes you do need to kind of push through with concentration as well. And the times to push through with an activity of concentration should come with the feeling that I am doing this. You should have this feeling within your mind, I am doing this so that I can reestablish my confidence in the ability to do nothing, essentially. And with that kind of motivation, that is a time in which you can maybe, push yourself a little bit harder in your activity of concentration. Oftentimes, though, you will notice, once you get more skillful at the practice of wandering without a particular goal, that the ability to enter into a state of blissful concentration, very skillfully called samadhi in Indian, like Hindu and Buddhist texts, which is a form of meditation that's very, very blissful. You'll notice that this will happen very naturally while you are engaging in an activity of wandering without a particular goal. Once you build more and more stores of confidence in the practice's effectiveness and the ability to simply keep yourself with that state of openness that allows you to start to investigate that true nature of reality within. And concentration will happen naturally during times such as that. And it's pretty amazing what it does. It's pretty amazing what it does. And what's interesting as well is sometimes the circumstances in which this blissful concentration emerges are circumstances in which you feel like there has never been a particular formation of this state of joy or bliss within these circumstances. And you feel this sense of like being this incredibly unique artist who is discovering something amazing when this happens. And it doesn't necessarily entail, although it could, a particular creation of form that would be something that would perhaps be considered artistic in nature. Although it's possible during these particular states of blissful concentration while you are engaging in the practice of wandering aimlessly with no goal. It is possible during this state of blissful concentration you will be able to actually create something that has a particular form. And this form would ideally be a form that has created with the motivation of sending, of holding on to a particular spiritual truth, of being able to sort of, through studying this form, kind of be able to it can be helpful in an individual's quest towards purification, towards accumulation, and their quest towards dedicating all of that properly. And such things do happen. And there are numerous examples of great beings. I know in Tibet in particular, I think perhaps the most famous being who was kind of noted for, creating particularly amazing spiritual formations into physical reality, and oftentimes hiding those spiritual formations in sacred places, such as this, actually, the Badlands of South Dakota, would be a place that most likely, somewhere within this area, there could very well be hidden spiritual formations created by great beings, which are destined to be unlocked at the right times. But such an individual would be Guru Rinpoche, perhaps the most famous, because his realization is considered to be just as great as Buddha Shakyamuni's, who is the most famous Buddha on planet Earth at this time. And so, with that being said, basically, have confidence in wandering aimlessly without a particular goal. Engage in activities of concentration to bring your confidence back to the effectiveness of this practice. And when nothing happens while you're doing this, take a lot of joy in that. Realize that that's because there are causes and conditions being formed that will ripen at the right time, in the right place. And with that being said, you can be happy within the moment and allow the grass to grow on its own. Allow the snow to fall without hindrance, because it's going to. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me for the special episode of Tea Time with Eddie. I'd like to give a shout out to my friend Matt Hansen, otherwise known as AKA Damien Strongholt. Hope you are doing well, and thank you guys for watching so much, and take care.